All right, to get the show started today, let's begin with that big question. What is the truth behind the goal project in Bering-Kebbi? I asked two individuals that were involved in this to explain to us. Amaju Melvin Pinnick, former NFF president, and the current chairman of the National Sports Commission, Shehu Diko. This is what they had to say about the controversies surrounding the FIFA Goal project.
In recent weeks, social media has been flooded with reports alleging that the Nigeria Football Federation squandered over $1.2 million meant for a FIFA Goal project. The claim suggests that funds intended for football infrastructure development were misused or unaccounted for. But how true are these allegations? In this report, we separate fact from fiction, tracing the real story behind the FIFA Goal project and speaking to those who were directly involved in its implementation. The FIFA Goal project, or the FIFA Forward project, is a global initiative designed to support football development through infrastructure, technical centers, pitches, and administrative buildings, all funded and supervised directly by FIFA. In Nigeria, these projects were executed under the administration of former NFF president Amaju Melvin Pinnick between 2014 and 2022.
It's been a missing communication. A lot of people are not informed about development as it unfolded. Yeah, in 2019, 2018 to 2019, FIFA gave us two goal projects, and that why they give what is called goal project is the intention is basically to groom, nurture, discover talent. Not basically in urban communities where there are existing facilities. They go to remote villages where they are not, but that their talents abound, I recall when Gianni first visited Nigeria, we were in the same car. We rode from Abuja airport to Hilton. I noticed he was looking right, left. And when we got to the hotel, he said, I could count the number of people playing football on both sides of the road. That truly Nigeria is a footballing country, So come to your question. When they gave us those facilities, FIFA have their standard. FIFA has zero tolerance when you don't go through their standard. You can be blacklisted. A lot of things can come that will not all go well for football development in your country. So every president, every federation is very, very careful about that. If FIFA gives you their money, they audit their money, they know A to Z, and they have standard. And of course, the NFF at that time, we have our own standard because we had PwC, we had financial derivatives working with us. Then, of course, we interface also with the ministry at that point because acquiring the land is government. So there's no way you isolate government from it. So the Kebbi people went and they got their land. We went to Escravos and we got our land in Escravos. All the processes, the stadia were advertised in line with global standard. Companies bidded for it. And the company that won the one in Kebbi State was Aaron. Aaron is not just a regular company when it comes to construction. They've been there for over 30 years. Facilities you see in Abeokuta, in Ogun State and so many other states, Aaron is not from the north, it's from southwest. He bidded and he won the bid. And the contract was signed sometime in September 2020, I recall. On the NFF part, there was a bid committee chairman who was the director of finance in the NFF at that point, a chartered accountant. They went through all these things, and of course, they allocated the funds the way FIFA wanted it to be allocated, in tranches. And also take cognizance of the fact that these funds were also taxed. So if the contract was about $1.1 million, $1.1 million in 2020, how much was it in naira? I'm asking you, less than 400 million naira. That's what people don't know. When you now say $1.2 million, people think $1.2 million is $2 billion, the way it is today. No, it was less than 400 million naira. Why not holding forth for the contractor? I can give you, if you are doing a 2-star fit synthetic turf, the minimum you spend from the production, moving it to the shipper, flying it to Nigeria, taking it to Kebbi, I think you spend close to $300,000 already. So that's it. Then you have to build your sub base. You have to stabilize. You have a lot of work going to it. I know all these things because we do a lot of, what's called carry the charge, condition to host. We go around and we see facilities being built. We look at it, and there are certain standards you must see. Now, when that picture was taken, the stadium was not completed. That's what we don't know. FIFA may have put that thing out there, but I know FIFA, I'm not quoting FIFA. FIFA's intention is to show the world that this is what we do in remote villages. That's intention, not to malign Nigeria. If FIFA wants to malign Nigeria, the first thing is they will withdraw the FIFA support in terms of the FIFA grant to Nigeria. FIFA is not. And I know the people that I've spoken to in FIFA. So when this thing came up, when I saw it, I started laughing because I knew that this would be the reaction. So first, everything went according to plan. And even in the contracts, I can share it. It was stated clearly that there was no variation. COVID came. And after COVID, you understand, you started building, you have workers on site, and COVID, everybody had to go. There was no additional dime to the contract. No variation, even in spite of COVID. And I think the facility was commissioned and it's been put into use. I challenge people to go to Kebbi State, morning, night, and day. You see young boys now living up to their dreams of playing football, which is quite exciting. It's not everything in Nigeria that will paint very negatively.
According to the FIFA financial model, countries receive goal project funds in stages, and every stage must be cleared by Zurich before the next release. In fact, NFF's goal project under Pinnick's tenure included the construction of regional technical centers and upgrades to the federation's infrastructure.
Well, you see, it's quite very surprising because at times this project has a footprint on the internet. If you Google the Kebbi FIFA project, for example, you will see clearly the footprints of the project. It's not something that is hidden. And all other FIFA projects that have been done in Nigeria to do that. It's very sad for us. So that's why as the leader of sports, I had to speak to it because I'm also knowledgeable on it. I'm still on the committee of FIFA. I'm still in the stakeholders committee. I was the first project manager for FIFA project in Nigeria in 2004. I did the first FIFA project in Nigeria about more than 20 years ago. So I know the process of how this thing is done. This particular project, for example, even though the NFF have issued their statements, but this is, I was also involved in that at that particular time, was approved by the NFF Congress in 2015 here at the Hilton in Abuja. And that's when the project was approved, that NFF would cite a forward project in Kebbi and one in Delta State or Borodu or whatever. And the process started for the procurement and all that. Initial project processing was done in 2016. I know everything when FIFA are doing it, they benchmark it with the official rates of the dollar. So as of 2016, when the project was being processed and done, what is the value of the dollar at that time? It's not maybe 200 and something, 220 or thereabout. So $1.2 million will not give you probably up to 300 million in Naira terms. That was when the project started. And the process took a very long time because it's a very detailed project, detailed process. There was proper advertisement. There was a proper due process certificate for the project. Up to today, if you go to the nigeriaprocurement.com, the due process, you see this project process where it was advertised, where contractors were asked to come. And the contractor that did this project, for example, is one of the foremost and best contractors in the sporting infrastructure construction in Nigeria. Aaron, for example, that's their name. They do that. So eventually the project was awarded in 2020. That was when the current Minister of Budget, who is the governor of Kebbi State, laid the foundation ceremony for the project. 2020. What is the value of the dollar at 2020 at the CBN rate, for example? That is being done to qualify the project. That time, because of the inflation and what have you, the total value of the project is about 400 million in naira, which is what the $1.2 million will give you, about 420 million or thereabout, based on the records available. That was what it is. So, and the project was eventually completed and delivered in 2022, thereabout, and FIFA officially launched it in 2023. And the project is just supposed to be the first phase. It's supposed to be done in phases because just a starting point. As the time goes on, even the state government can add more stands, everybody can add more pitch and everything. But that is it. So, and FIFA that owns the project, we are very happy about it. The videos are all on YouTube and everything. FIFA celebrated the project because it's value for money on what they wanted to achieve at that time. The design, that was what was approved to be done. Some people now are saying uncompleted. No, that was what was approved to be done as a first phase of the project to do that. And everything was done the right way and properly done. So I don't know why at this moment everything would just wake up and just start all this rigmarole and up and down, and people now started running down the country and running down the sports industry and everything on what they don't even know, including even leaders who are the political leaders, who are the top hierarchy of the leaders, who should be more concerned about, first and foremost, before they speak on any issue, they have to get the facts. Because they are leaders. If they speak, people will respect them to do that. So, and then what people should understand, the way FIFA works, is FIFA that run the project directly. They appoint a consultant, they assess the process, they pay the money directly. They don't pay this money to NFF. These monies are normally paid to CBN, and then CBN convert to Naira and pay whoever is the contractor that is involved at the CBN official rate at that time. So technically, this project is a 400 million Naira project. That was done and completed, and that was what is supposed to be done at that time. Everybody can go and validate it because the grass you see there is not the normal grass. It's a synthetic grass. People should go and get the cost of how much to put a synthetic grass, a correct one for that kind of size of the pitch, apart from the other infrastructure that is there. So at the end of the day, we just end up hurting the sport industry for all this misinformation and I don't know how to even put it, because at the end of the day, it creates this kind of bad blood and everything. You can see even a colleague in the National Assembly who knows the system, who has been following the NFF and the Sport Commission in all our trips, now even jumping into the arena and creating, because it becomes now a public stuff where people are happy to speak about it.
Indeed, when the project began, the Naira-dollar exchange rate hovered around 350 Naira to a dollar officially. Today, the same figure translates to over 1.5 billion Naira, fueling public misunderstanding about the project's true value. Experts say this economic shift has distorted how people perceive the figures involved. Our checks also show that FIFA, through its development office in Dakar, directly supervises all African Gold projects, ensuring transparency and accountability at every stage.
Oh, they give NFF XYZ funds. How can they account for those funds? Come. The General Secretary, the Deputy General Secretary, the Director Technical, and about between 15 to 20 other staff in the NFF are being paid by FIFA, not the government. How many people knows this? Women football. A certain amount of money is dedicated to women football. I'm not ordering fault for the Federation, but I'm an officer of the Federal Republic. I'm an OFR, and it builds on us to say the truth when we see it. We should stop maligning institutions in Nigeria. That is the A to Z of this mind. I'm just appealing because it doesn't all go well for us internationally. It demarcates this country. We just lost our bid to host the Commonwealth Games. I know what somebody told me about it. Whenever I want to host any tournament now, Nigeria is almost a red flag because we demarket this country by the minute. If the government is even doing something appreciable good, I think we should compliment them. We should pray for them and work with them. Because we don't have any other country. I keep saying it. Nigeria is the sweetest and the best country on this continent. So when I see people say things, oh, you are a thief, you are this, Jesus, that's why people like us are not enthused about going remotely close to being in government anymore. And that's the truth. Because the toxicity, the chaos, the bitterness, the hatred, the animosity is just too much. Without knowing the simple truth, without asking for information. People, they just go out there to malign you. You travel to various countries, you are stopped from traveling. When they Google your name, they see corruption, they say, you go this way. When I go to America, you always do the secondary check. So I'm not even enthused to travel anymore. Because these are the kind of things that we face. And when you do that, Nigeria, by God's grace, we're going to qualify going to the World Cup. Now we'll go to the World Cup. How many people can afford to get a visa to go to the World Cup? Because we keep demarketing this country. We keep demarketing this country. When I saw what they said Peter Obi said, I called Peter Obi. I called him, I scrolled to him, I saw I have his number, and I called him. And I was able to educate him on this issue. Because he's a statesman. And he should also weigh whatever he says. And I know what two of us discussed, And I told him, because we cannot continue to keep quiet when we see things that we can correct. We are not perfect as human beings, We are not. But we are very thankful to God for giving us a country like Nigeria.
The NFF maintains that all goal projects implemented during that period were duly approved, executed, and verified by FIFA. While critics call for independent audits, FIFA's own monitoring framework appears to leave little room for manipulation. As social media continues to amplify suspicion and half-truths, the fact tells a more grounded story, one of due process, international oversight, and economic context. The FIFA Goal project may not have been perfect, but available evidence suggests it was not a scandal. And for those who built it, the real goal was never about the money. It was about leaving behind structures that will serve Nigerian football, especially grassroots football, for generations. From Abuja to Zurich, this is the story behind the headlines, the real picture behind the FIFA Goal project.